The White House today pushing back on the special counsel's report that takes aim at President Biden's memory issues, but does not press any charges for his handling of classified documents at his home.
Former President Trump, who faces federal criminal charges in his classified documents case, is calling the decision not to charge Biden political.
NBC's Alice Barr shares what's unfolded since the release of the report.
Well, thank you very much for making
President Biden meeting today with the German chancellor amid fresh fallout from the stunning special counsel report that found the president should not be charged for his handling of classified documents, but amplified serious concerns about what the report called his diminished faculties in advancing age. The White House counsel's office questioning the tactics.
You're left to wonder why this report spends time making gratuitous and inappropriate criticisms of the president.
A defiant President Biden spoke out last night.
My memory is fine.
Special counsel Robert Hur said our investigation uncovered evidence that President Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified materials after his vice presidency. But in explaining why no criminal charges are warranted, Hur noted that a jury would likely see Mr. Biden, quote, as a sympathetic, well-meaning and elderly man with a poor memory, even asserting that the president did not remember when his son Beau died.
How in the hell dare he raise that?
George Washington law professor Aram Gavor emphasizing how politics are overshadowing the legal points.
The relationship between the legal document and process and the politics, when you involve a current sitting president, is inescapable. It's an election year.
Former President Trump, who has pleaded not guilty to 40 federal criminal counts in his classified documents case, slammed the Biden decision as a two-tiered system of justice. But the Hur report notes that while, quote, Mr. Biden alerted authorities about the documents and cooperated with the investigation, Mr. Trump allegedly enlisted others to destroy evidence and then to lie about it. These developments only add to the pressure President Biden is facing to show that he's up to the job of being president for a second term. A recent NBC News poll found that 62% of those surveyed have major concerns about the question's mental and physical health. In Washington, Alice Barr, 10 News, working for you.
And it is a political year, and there's a lot to talk about. 10 News political analyst Dr. Ed Lynch joins us now to talk about some of the issues facing both sides ahead of Decision 2024. Dr. Lynch, thank you for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
So first of all, how damaging is this assertion about the current President Biden's memory issues?
It is very serious.
Really?
As your report said, there have already been concerns from about 2/3 of Americans about President Biden's mental standing and whether or not he's up to it. The past week, he has on 2 occasions claimed that he had recent conversations with world leaders who died years ago. And then this does not come from the conservative media. It doesn't come from the Republican Party. It was far, far worse than charges would have been. To describe the president as a well-meaning elderly man who with a poor memory, that's bad.
Yeah, that doesn't cast him in the light of a world leader,
No.
or the world leader, as it were. So you think that'll be quite damaging going forward in the election?
Well, I'm thinking about how many commercials the Republicans can make out of that report, and it's at least 3 or 4 with some of those quotations about his mental acuity. This is not, he couldn't remember who was the leader of Paraguay in 1962. He couldn't remember when he was vice president of the United States. That's cause for concern.
Okay, very good. So now both former President Trump and current President Biden have had cases with these sealed documents that have been found in their possession.
Right.
Charges against Trump. Yesterday we find out no charges against Biden. Who's the big winner and loser in all of that?
Well, President Trump, former President Trump, is the big winner because he can make the argument that this is a biased system, that there were no charges. They both had classified documents. There were no charges against President Biden. There are charges pending against Donald Trump. And while lawyers can certainly make the case that the two situations are not the same, and there are good reasons for that, politically it looks really bad.
So Trump's going to make hay out of that, you think?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. All right. And then finally, we're looking at Nikki Haley. She is still out there campaigning against President Trump, trying to find some way to get the Republican nomination. Does she have a chance?
Not a very good one. She has one opportunity to live to fight another day. The South Carolina primary is coming up later this month. That's her home state. She was governor there. She has to beat Donald Trump in South Carolina and beat him outright. That doesn't guarantee her the nomination, but it allows her to live to fight another day.
And, you know, what is the chance she's just waiting for him because he's got so many of these things coming at him that he's just waiting for him to implode and she's the last person standing?
I think that's probably part of her motivation. I think she does genuinely believe she has a chance, but she also knows that a serious damage to the Trump campaign, a conviction, say, is not out of the question, and she would be there to step in, and she's beating Biden in the polls by considerably more than Donald Trump is.
So she would be a popular candidate then?
She would be a popular candidate, and I think the Republicans, in many cases, would be able to relax a little bit between now and November with her at the top of the ticket rather than Donald Trump.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens, and this is the first of many here in 2024 appearances by Dr. Lynch, so thank you so much.
Thank you.